Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jared Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Howdy do.
I
don't know where that came from.
And for his second appearance, we have Tynan Rolander. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, guys. Thanks for having me back on, man. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. I know I really enjoyed the first interview. I've enjoyed you just being a part of the community. And I know you've had a lot of stuff going on, so I can't wait to get into the updates. But before we do, basic intros, what you do, who you are, how you train, where you're from, all that good stuff for everybody.
Yeah. For everybody who hasn't seen the first one or doesn't know me yet in the Facebook group, if you're new to the crew or anything like that, I'm in Northern Virginia, just outside DC, which, yesterday was pretty eventful around here, but I'm a football coach at a high school that I went to. I train at my weight room here at school. I currently live in a condo, so the shutdown was was a different take on things for me, but that's kind of what I do. My wife's a substance abuse therapist. She works down in the city of Alexandria, so that's what it is.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I bet things are really crazy. So we're recording this on today, January 7th, and so everyone in the United States should know all the craziness that's been happening over the last 24 hours, and you're pretty close to the heart of it, man.
Yeah, 15 minutes down the road from DC, we were outside. Like I can't bring my kids inside to work out yet. I haven't been able to since March of last year. So we were outside lifting weights. It was sub 40-degree weather. It's kind of windy. Like where we're at, we sit up on a little bit of a hill. The elevation where the high school is higher than just about everywhere else. So, any time of year, any time of day, you come out here, it's pretty windy. So we're out there in sub 40-degree weather. I got middle barbells out there. The kids, because they're 15, 16-year-old kids, don't bring any kind of gloves to grab onto a 40-degree metal barbell. So they're out there lifting, and we got helicopters flying by. The Virginia National Guard comes shooting up. You can hear sirens in the distance, and we're just out there getting after it. I had some disco playing for Disco Wednesday, so it was it was an interesting afternoon. So it's been fun.
Is there a story behind Disco Wednesdays? Like I want to pull up that thread a little bit.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little background. There's my old head coach, Jerry Pannoni's his name. He's like in your mind, I want you to picture like just a classic old Italian dude, short, bald, angry. That was our head coach. He was a graduate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a graduate of Frostburg State University, and we would go up there every summer for football camp. And every time we stepped on the campus, he would start talking about his glory days. And right down there and down the street, there was a house that I went to a bar in. That was the first place I ever met a lady. But there's a picture of him where he's got I'm talking fro action. And so I started doing Wednesdays. He put me in charge of music for practice. And so on Wednesdays, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, I started throwing on disco because he would come in here in the weight room and put on Casey and the Sunshine Band radio on Pandora and all that kind of stuff. So I put together a playlist, and we've been running Disco Wednesdays for almost 2 years now, every day, every week, whether it's off season or in practice. So it's kind of kids when I first started it, the kids are like, what the hell is this? I don't know. And now they're asking for it. Like they go out, they start dancing. It's good stuff, man.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna try it next Wednesday in the garage. I'm gonna try Disco Wednesday. No joke.
Don't be surprised if you just keep coming back to it, man. It gets a grab on you.
That's awesome. Well, I would love to hear a little bit more about this exercise outside. I mean, from your position, that is a challenging place to be because some people they're just worried about themselves, their gym being closed or whatever. Mm-hmm. You're responsible for a lot of kids and their training. So What have you been doing to maintain that during the pandemic and all the stuff that's going on?
So it's been an ever evolving process. Like every time I talk to somebody about the past year, it seems I would get a plan together and we would get it rolling for about a week and a half. And then we'd have to come back. The county would say, hey, we're going to go this direction. We're going to, and the county has made a great use of the word pivot. We were going to pivot this direction. So I'd have to go back and rework my plan and start over again. So from when we got shut down in late February, early March to about June, I couldn't see these kids at all. I couldn't see them in person, couldn't do anything. They couldn't be in the school. They couldn't be on school grounds. Our entire campus was locked down. Like I wasn't allowed in the building. So I got kind of pushed out of my garage gym. And before I did, I came in here and yoinked a Concept 2 and some rings and took them back to my condo. And I was a garage or what's the word? I was a loft gym athlete. I put it up in my loft and that's where I did all my stuff. And I had to go off I went off a Hard to Kill and went on to the no gear track, which by the way, I made a post about it in June, but I just want to let everybody know here, if you have any doubts about being on no gear because you have no other choice, don't second guess it. I was on no gear from March to June, and I got back in here and tested. Like I got right back into Fit Week, like right when we tested in the summer, and all of my maxes, especially my barbell maxes, were within 20 pounds of where I was before I stopped. So, and I tried, that was the message I sent to my kids too. I said, look, if you have any doubts about body weight being effective, there's the proof is in the pudding. I'm the proof. It works. You guys, the programming is tip top. So I went from body weight, virtual stuff from June. And in June, they said, hey, look, you can start coming, having kids back at workouts. But this is what you have to do. You have to be masked up at all times. If they're working out, they don't have to have a mask on. But every other time they have to have a mask on. You have to take a temperature check before they come in. If they're over 100.4, you got to send them home. No questions asked. And that was for coaches and players, everybody alike. I could only have 50 people in the stadium complex. So, the stadium complex here at this school it's a pretty big complex. We can host, thousands of people. I could only have 50 people. I could only have them for no more than an hour. So I had to devise a body weight plan, and I emailed you guys about using that no gear track as kind of training for these guys, and that's what we did. I mean, I basically took and lifted what I could from that no gear track and worked our kids, and we started from June until about August like that, and then August they said you can start using equipment. So this has been probably the most difficult part about this whole process. I counted it out because I was like, this has got to be in the thousands of pounds of weight. I took about 5,000 pounds of weight of dumbbells, kettlebells, plates, barbells, everything, and put it on 2 pallets and on pallet jacks and rolled it out to a shed right outside our stadium. And then I would hold it in the shed and keep it in the shed. And we would roll thousands of pounds of weight out 3 days a week for these kids to come lift. And so that process from August till now has been the same. Whether it was rain or shine or hot and now cold, our kids have been coming in for about an hour and a half now, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and lifting. And I've taken, I have to scale back what we usually do, but they get 2 to 3 core lifts in. They get some plyometric stuff in, they get some drill work in, and they get some conditioning and agility work in. And it's been, all things considered, it's been really, really, really great. I mean, I have 80 to 90 kids show up 3 days a week. Damn. So it's been hard having to go back and rework these plans every week. But man, given the circumstances, I think it's been really successful.
Yeah, and that's a lot, man. I've been thinking about this just for people in different career fields and things. I know this position was relatively new for you in the last couple of years. And it's just like people before you, they never had to deal with anything like this, ever. It's standard. You do it this way. This is how things are done. And there's a lot of people in a lot of different jobs who are having to figure stuff out that other people have never had to figure out before. So I think that's awesome, man, that you've really been able to work around it and you've done as much as you have done. So really, just good work on doing that and keeping your kids engaged.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's been a process, Bo. I got hired as the new head coach here in March, and then from that point on, I've been kind of flying by the seat of my pants trying to figure it out as I go. So it's been fun.
That's awesome. Well, let's jump to you, man. You mentioned being on no gear for a while. So how has that been? No gear, and then are you back on hard to kill now?
Yeah. So
Okay.
once I got clearance to come back into the building as a teacher in June, July, I came back on to hard to kill, and I made the switch back to hard to kill right in the middle of Fit Week. I was like, oh God bless America, I can get back on hard to kill. I'm in. So I made the switch and put the request in, and a day later I was back on it. So the no gear track was awesome. It really was. Like I would go back to that if I had to, if I needed to. I would have no problems going back to that. It was really, really, really well put together. I had to carry. So in the condo that I live in right now, the loft is up a spiral staircase. So I brought this Concept 2 erg home and had to break it down into its two pieces to get in the car. But then I had to like shuck it up a spiral staircase. I talked to my wife and said, listen, what if we put together a pulley system and I can just like rope it up there? And she looked at me like I was an idiot and said, just carry the damn thing up the stairs. So I worked it up the stairs. I put it together up on the up on the loft. And then I brought 2 rings home. I set a rings home from school as well and put those up on the banister. And that's kind of where I did all the work, like all the bear crawls. I would just go back and forth in my hallway. And one of the things that I didn't mention to you guys, about the same time we got shut down, like right before we got shut down, I was doing some heavy deadlifts for one of the days. I think it was a Wednesday. Yeah, it was a Wednesday. Our girls soccer team was in the gym doing a Green Day practice. They were having like out of season practice in the gym. I finished up my lift. I cooled down. I was walking through the gym to go to the staff showers, and because it's a shortcut. I wanted to get in the shower, so I walk in there, and all the girls soccer team's in there. Coach Rowe, come play soccer. I was like, nah. I just got done working out. I need to go shower. I stood there and shot the breeze with the coach for a second. She was the daughter of our head football coach. Small world. So we're shooting the breeze, and I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna play a couple minutes. What's it gonna hurt? I get 5 minutes in. A ball comes shooting across my face, and I go to press off my right foot to go chase after it, and it felt like somebody kicked me in the back of my calf. So I turned around thinking, which one of you bastards just kicked my? There was nobody behind me. So I immediately said, shit, you know what? I think I just tore my Achilles. So I reached down to grab my foot. Achilles is intact. But I think I had like a partial tear in my calf because I couldn't walk for about a week and a half. So fast forward to getting shut down, bringing the erg home was great. All the running, all the cardio stuff that was programmed into no gear, I just put it on the erg and did it on the erg. So that part was great. I get back from no gear. I go right into hard to kill. And from that point on, I've been doing really, really well. I went back and looked at the calendar and looked at all my maxes and all my PRs, and my barbell lifts have stayed pretty much the same. I joined in February 2019 officially. Before that, I had done a couple cycles of 1 man, 1 barbell. My barbell maxes are pretty stable, and I don't really expect them to go a whole lot higher than they are right now. But the other aspects of my fitness, pull-ups, like all the calisthenics, all the cardio-based stuff, I'm in some of the best shape of my life. Hands easily best shape of my life. I've been stronger. And I talked about this last time we were on. Like, I've been barbell strength-wise, I've been a hell of a lot stronger, but I don't need to be that strong anymore. I can row a sub 7-minute 2K. Never been able to do that in my life. When I started, it was up around 7:10, which for me was pretty damn good. Now it's about 6:50.
That's awesome.
I can run, like I've never, ever in my life run faster than about a 6:35, 6:40 mile. And I'm right about 6:20, 6:25 right now. I can do things now that I could not do when I was in college. I look at that piece, and that's why I like this training. That's why I love what you guys do. It's why I took the coaching certification. It's why I'm still here, man. I love what this place is about. I really do.
That's huge, man. And you're doing really well. And I mean, you're still a really strong dude. So your lifts in college were probably insane. And, getting those other metrics down that's really important stuff too. Like the mile times and 2K row, those are impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing for me, man. Like, the plate jump in particular, I've never done a plate jump before. And you introduced them, and I started looking at them. I said, God, this is going to be a show for me. And I started and could get like 3 inches. And then last time we tested a few weeks ago, I was up by 8 3/4 inches. And that to me, and I've always been good at cleans. I've like cleans, the Olympic stuff I've always really loved. So I always felt like I had some pretty good, solid hip action. Like my hips I always felt like they're pretty explosive, but God bless, man. That plate jump is an eye opener. So
yeah,
it is. It's awesome. So
it's a phenomenal test. It's very hard to do, but after you get on your feet, you can really start working on just, whatever the smallest plate possible after that, and then just going up a little at a time.
Yep.
So what are you looking to do here in 2021, man? What are some of your goals?
So, well, first I want to make it through my season.
Yeah.
Intact. Our first practice is February 4th. Our first game is February 27th. We got 6 games and then a 3-game playoff. So goal number 1 is to get these kids in as many games as I possibly can, because I just want these kids to be able to play. I got seniors that, have some aspirations to go play at the next level that, if they don't play, it's going to be really difficult for them. So I really I want to make sure my kids can go play. So that's goal number 1. Goal 2, I want to finish out the Murph project well. And listening to all the guys who have been on this podcast, who are in it, and really like I guess every other day post from Sensei Morgan, watching him go through his process. And I want to get to a point. I think like the goal from now until May, at the very least, when I wrap this thing up, if I can get a sub 40 strict Murph in, I'll be good. Like the 34-minute one that I ran, I was doing some kipping pull-ups. I was probably doing things a little not, a little shady on the form wise. So if I can get a strict sub 40 Murph vested, we're crispy, dog. We're good. As far as the rest of the year is concerned, between now and hopefully, this time next year, I need to go back and kind of rehash and rework my approach to reading. I've tried to add more reading into my repertoire, and I've gotten through, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 books. The majority of them have been audiobooks. I do enjoy actually reading a book, and I enjoy being able to take notes on them. So I need to, like, my goal, for me, I guess it might be a little small one, but I want to be able to read at least 25 books, and the 25 books that I read, I want them to be, my goal is for them to be either around leadership, based around the sport that I coach, or just kind of, I don't know, self-help is not the right word, but I guess like philosophy. I guess like I picked up a couple stoicism books that I've started to leaf through, but in the position that I am in now, it's really important for me to be able to set a standard for a team culture, and I need to get a little bit more in depth in that piece of my game, so to speak. So that's the long-term goal, is to be able to build that base of knowledge and be able to speak a little bit more confidently about it to my kids. We have a pretty good culture around this program. And we started doing a culture program that I've been a part of since 2016, that has been the turning point for us in getting us to where we were last year in the state championship game. But I need to take the next step in that progress. So that's kind of the long-term gain. So it's not really like the fitness goals. I think I'll be close to getting to competitor in a lot of places right now. I'm pretty good with being established plus. I really am. I think I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm comfortable with where I'm at. I like the progress that I've made. I'd like to get a little bit better on broad jump and plate jump, but all the other metrics right now are, for me, are pretty damn good. So my goals are a little bit outside of fitness.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I think that's a very admirable goal with the reading. I mean, I probably actually read 4 or 5 books per year, like what you're talking about, like audio books. I crush a lot more than that, but so that's a hard thing to do, because Joe reads a lot, not in the same category, but Joe reads a ton, but it's just like
dabble.
It is 99% not what he was talking about.
Yeah, I
I saw his year.
I do our monthly. Yeah. I do our monthly book review and then maybe one or two extras. And then the rest is just fun stuff.
Yeah. But Joe crushes a lot of books on the old fashioned way, should we call it. So maybe get some tips from him on that. But yeah, that's a hard thing for me to do too, to sit down and actually read a book. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. See if this answer's changed. What's the hardest workout you've ever done?
Last time we talked, I talked about doing 10 hours of a bunch of CrossFit WODs, the ladies. And I did a lady every hour, and then I would come back. And I don't know if I told you guys, I think pretty sure I told you the whole story. That day is probably the hardest day of workouts I've done. So I guess short answer, really, it hasn't changed yet. I'll be honest with you. Like when I first started with the programming, I didn't do a whole lot of Meet Yourself Saturdays. In fact, this year is probably the first year, and I've only been a part of the community for I guess about almost 2 years now. Starting May to now is probably the first time that I've done any kind of Saturday type workout with the Murph project. But so that is probably still the hardest workout I've done, and it meant a lot for me. And because my brother was in San Diego, he was having open heart, like open chest surgery. He has this like really, really unique and rare blood disease where his body just creates blood clots for no reason. And so he had a bunch of blood clots in his lungs that they couldn't get out. He was taking blood thinners that weren't working. Nothing was going on. So they approached him with an experimental surgery and said, "Hey, look, this is a relatively new surgery. The chances of recovery are pretty good, but it's not guaranteed. Are you interested?" And he said, "Hell yeah, I'm interested." So he went out there. My brother and I have been like inseparable since day one. I mean, the first place that I lived outside of my parents' house was with my brother in an apartment. So him being in San Diego and me being here, I couldn't really do anything about it. So I needed something to do while he was doing that. His surgery was 10 hours. So I set out to put together a list of 10 WODs I could do. I would do a WOD every hour. And, at the end of the WOD, I would come back in here, I'd pray a rosary, and then I'd go back out, warm up, and do the next WOD and just repeat it for 10 hours. So that one was the hardest one I've done so far as length. Probably the most intense one was that 34-minute Murph, vested Murph I did a few weeks ago. But yeah, that's still the top of the list for me.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, a fast Murph is always a challenge.
Yeah.
All right. In your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness? And has that answer changed?
No. I mean, it's still like my answer last time was essentially do hard things. Go out there and find something that you do not like to do, that is difficult for you to do, and go do it. Doesn't matter if you fail. Doesn't matter if you suck at it. Doesn't matter if you don't get the goal that you want to get. As the longer that I've been in this community, the longer that I've been a part of what you guys do, the more true that has become for me. And I've always liked kind of going into that pain cave and doing stuff that's hard, and it sucks. It sucks when you do it, but when you get done with it, you can look back and say, God bless, man. God damn, I just did something that I thought was impossible, and I did it. Didn't matter if I didn't do it the way that I wanted to do it, or I didn't get the time that I wanted, or whatever it was. Doing something hard for you is the best way to grow. It just is.
Fully agree with that. Now, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
So I said kettlebell earlier when I got on here in July of 19. And part of me still kind of agrees with that, but listening and having gone through the past year or so and 4 or 5 months and not having access to anything except an erg and a set of rings, and then listening to both Ryan and Trampus talk about rings, I was still able to do pull-ups. I mean, I did pull-ups with rings, and the no gear stuff. As I said before, that the no gear track is legit. It's awesome. So I'd have to say, if you can get your hands on a set of rings, I think you'd be in pretty good shape. Everything else you can kind of take care of yourself. You really can. So yeah, I would go with a set of rings.
Yeah, I was going to say, you almost had like the gym equivalent of your house catches on fire. What are you running in and taking? And you took rings, not a kettlebell.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're exactly right. I said, shit, I need that. So I ran in. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now.
You know what's funny about the no gear track in general is we've had people join the program and they want to do the no gear track thinking like it's this like super easy like intro course to fitness, and they get in like a weekend and they're like, this is no joke. It's like we don't slack on the no gear track either. You know?
Yeah. Oh, honey, you wrong, girl. You wrong. yes. That was good stuff, man. It was like there's some stuff in there that I had never done before. That I did. Like it's legit. It really is. It's an awesome program.
That's awesome.
So, new twist for you. So whoever controls your budget comes to you and tells you that they're going to give you some money to add something to the school gym, to your athlete's gym, or to your house, that gym. What are you adding for you to use and or your athletes to use?
All right. So great question. I've been like rolling this around in my brain for a while, and we were supposed to get a new gym. We were supposed to get this thing renovated. This thing, like the stuff that's in our gym right now, has been in here since 2005 when the school opened. Like when I was in this weight room, the stuff is still there. So it's due for an upgrade. We were supposed to get that done this summer. Well, didn't happen, pandemic and all that. Oh, well. So if I could get anything, if I could get a new set of anything, I probably would get a set of reverse hypers in here. Cause we have two double racks. we have I have enough room in here that I can comfortably and safely in a non-pandemic world, I can comfortably and safely lift like 60 kids at a time. I mean, I have a full set of double racks. I have two other sets of single, half racks. I got 2 platform spaces. I got 5 power rushes on the right end. The only thing that I don't have is reverse hypers. I have glute hand machines. Like I have GHD developers. I got those. But knowing what a reverse hyper can do, I would trade out the GHDs in a heartbeat for those. Now,
that was my decision when I was purchasing it. I was like, do I want a GHD or do I want a reverse hyper? Because they're going to take up about the same amount of space.
Right.
And then most people would go for the GHD, but I just actually sat down and thought about it. I was like, I'm going to get way more out of a reverse hyper. So I ended up going with a reverse hyper, and I still don't have a GHD.
Yeah. And when I was talking to my DSA about budgeting and what kind of stuff do you want? You're getting a whole new brand new weight room. What do you want? I was like, dude, give me some reverse hypers. Let me change out the GHDs in here. Give me some reverse hypers. I got everything else I need in here. I got everything else I need in here. Give me some reverse hypers. So if it comes to fruition, if they ever revisit that plan, that'll be the new addition to it.
Well, they got the Scout hypers now too, so you can save some money. That's
I was looking at them yesterday. I was like, man, maybe they're back in stock. They weren't, but and that would be the next step. Yeah, that would 100% get a set of those.
That's awesome, man. Well, what is your best advice for all the garage gym athletes out there listening right now?
Just keep moving, man. Just keep going. I think if this past year hasn't taught you anything, it should have taught you that if you just keep going, just keep moving, just keep doing what you're doing, keep your family close to you, keep the people you love close to you, and focus on you and focus on making the people around you better, you'll be fine. Everything else will kind of work itself out, for the most part. If you just focus on the things that matter to you, your family, yourself, and what you can do to make the people around you better, I think everything else will take care of itself.
That's awesome, man. Well, I love having you on here the second time. We always talk about the community and how great the community really is. And you're a big part of that. You're definitely one of the athletes I think about if I ever do feel like slacking off or not pushing it as hard, I know that you're not doing that, and I can always, depend on you to be kind of that rock in the community, man. So I appreciate you being around, and for the, the motivation, attitude, overall demeanor that you bring. It's just been really awesome to, have you part of the community since 2019. And it's just awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jared. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.